So next up, we're going to talk about Over the Top Wrestling, who are back for another double weekend. First of all, they'll be back in the Tivoli Theatre on Saturday, 2nd of June for A Haven of Monsters. And then they'll be continuing on to the Europa Hotel in Belfast on June 3rd for their live show in Belfast. And to tell us more about it now, joining us on the line, OTT commentator, or announcer I should say, Daniel Gannon, aka Butch. Butch, thanks for joining us once again here in the Kickouts.
No problem. It's always a pleasure to do these little spiels, get to preview what's going to happen next week. So, exciting time. It
can be a good spiel, as you say, anyway. So, first of all, A Haven of Monsters, that has this is on the back now of the very successful event in Scrappermania now. So it seems like now it's building new bridges now to the next few months now going down.
Yeah. It's a pretty stacked show. We always really seem to go all out on the shows after the stadium. Like last Scrappermania, we had Marvel Zone Act 1, which had Matt Riddle, Marty Sturl, Donovan Dijak, Kyle O'Reilly, a who's who of people. And this, I think we got probably one of the most sought after independent talents in Walter on the show.
Absolutely.
So I think us getting him is huge, and that's kind of attracted the attention.
Absolutely, you're right, because he's like one of the most sought. I couldn't agree more. He's definitely very sought after talent across Europe, not just Europe, but all over the world at the moment. So we could start on his match, for example. Himself and Low Key will be taking on OTT World Champion and David Starr. I'm very intrigued in particular with Walter and David Starr, because they seem to have a rivalry across the entire world right now, particularly in Europe.
Oh yeah, it's a thing of Walter always gets the better of David Starr.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very interesting, and this is kind of another layer onto it.
Mm-hmm.
David Starr just has not been able to put him away. Could this be the match he actually puts him away, and then maybe the next time they'll meet one-on-one, wherever that is, that could have major implications for that,
Absolutely. Because
and Low Key, coming to OTT, he's been a big indie talent for a few years now. Well, for many years, and I don't know. Is it long overdue that he's here? Because I'm sure we probably tried to get it before, but it's good that he's here now. And he's got a good teammate, Walter. Then if Jordan Devlin, who likes to, kill imports, and maybe he sees this as two other imports that got to kill, but I'm probably going to get killed in the process, because Walter is, he goes all out. He just, oh my God.
Nice.
You've seen his chops.
I can only imagine, I've only seen a handful of his matches now, but all the same, it'd be especially when in somewhere like the Tivoli, where I imagine the acoustics of the place will really bring out the sound more in his chops, so that makes it more intriguing, whoever gets receiving end from it. So some other good matches coming up. Obviously, the return of Team White Wolf, A-Kid and Adam Chase, they'll be back. I think this is their first time going to be wrestling in the Tivoli. They'll be taking on the team of Darren Carney and Nathan Martin and More Than Hype. A very intriguing match.
Oh, yeah, it is. Also, Darren Carney's first appearance on our main OTT show. Nathan Martin, a bit familiar with the Tivoli, but he has not wrestled there this year. And it's going to be good. White Wolf versus Legit 100 that time was an incredible match.
Mm-hmm.
And More Than Hype have just been building a lot of momentum recently. People have gotten to know the real Darren Carney now, because he was always a great wrestler, but he was very, very quiet, and now he's getting his personality out, which makes him that bit better. And Nathan Martin, he's just going mad. People seem to love that.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's definitely a very intriguing match. All the guys aren't even in their primes yet, so that makes it imagine how much better the match will be if they continue having the rivalry later on. That's what makes an awesome match. Going back to More Than Hype, LJ Cleary will be defending his OTT gender-neutral title in a very intriguing match. Well, it was originally supposed to be against Chris Wolf and Trent Seven, but unfortunately Trent Seven picked up an injury over the last few weeks, so his fellow British Strong Style member Tyler Bate will take his place, but that's a very good match all the same. LJ Cleary against Chris Wolf and Tyler Bate.
Yeah, Chris Wolf, it's it's great that she's getting the chance at the gender neutral belt. It just seems like a belt that really suits her, you know. Then you have LJ who's latching onto that like it's his baby, and he's been defending it well, even though he's only had 2 defenses. They've been both great matches, and he's come across the victor, and there's no he's been doing it in great fashion. And also you've Tyler Bates there, who was in the Golden Contract match. A man who everyone loves seeing Tyler Bates at OTT. It's just like a nice refreshing thing. You know, just seeing him and him back in the Tivoli. And to my knowledge, last time he was in the Tivoli was July last year for Born to be Wasted, when he went up against Dijak, Callahan and Keith Lee.
I remember that, yeah. That was actually a class match, actually, yeah. So it goes to show you, like, it goes to show you, like, some guys who we almost have seen before in OTT, and it's like, oh wow, that was the last time we seen them. So it goes to show you, like, you know, how some have moved on, like, such as the Tyler Bates doing very well in WWE, for example. Now, a match I'm particularly intrigued about is Be Cool to take on Dan Barry. Now, I myself have never heard of Dan Barry before this, so for those who are listening who may never have heard of him, would you know much about him going into this match against a fan favourite such as Be Cool?
I've heard of him, yeah. He's a wrestler / comedian, so he does a lot of comedy work. So, saying that probably imply that that's why him and Be Cool could be a very good match, because, you know, Cool is known for, other than his fantastic athleticism, he is one of the funniest and most entertaining wrestlers out there. And I don't even say in Ireland, I say in the world. Like, every time you watch him, he's just, you just die with laughter. Like, what he says and what he does. Dan Barry, I think, is pretty much the same as that over in the UK, and not necessarily the States. And yeah, this could be entertaining. Like, this could be very, very good.
Yeah, like if it certainly like has all the comic prospects of that match, like it would be cool being funny enough, but it hadn't like this Dan Barry character into it as well. Could be like easily one of the funniest matches we see this year. Like, you know, if it promises all this comedy in it.
He's kind of doing a little like tour to Europe and the UK because it's his last year in wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it could be one of the last.
No, it could be very entertaining.
Absolutely. Now, of the Damien Corvin now will be taking. This is probably his first singles match in OTT in God knows how long, but he's going to take on the returning Sean Guinness, who's just come back from Japan, has been and was involved in Contenders Just Gone. That's a very intriguing one-on-one match because a lot of people certainly say that if anyone from the Kings of the North could do well as a singles runner, it could be Corvin. This is his chance to show that against a veteran such as Guinness.
Yeah, the thing with Corvin is he's always thinking of these mad ideas to doing matches that could, like, help the outcome, that could, like, you know, that could help him win, like, you know. So, I've always loved him when he's been doing singles stuff. I've seen him do it before. Last time he was in a singles match, I think
it was Chris Brooks.
July as well, Born to be Wasted, when he went up against Chris Brooks. So, I think this is going to be a good one because this match first happened on the first ever OTT show. Maxter versus Corvin, and it was good. It was one of the matches of the night, like, and you know the two lads, they work well together. It's gonna be good. Like, it's going to be one of them matches that people are going to be taken back by and goes, whoa, I did not expect that to be match of the night. You know what I mean?
It could easily be, especially for two guys who know themselves very well, as you say. But like a really intriguing match now that I think is Mark Haskins, who of course recently won the Golden Contract at Scrappermania. Him and the returning Pete Dunne and a mystery partner will take on the tag team champions, The Rapture, in a 6-man tag team match. Is this for the tag titles first and foremost, actually?
I think it is, yeah, because like these are, I believe so, because Haskins and Pete Dunne are no strangers to OTT. Pete Dunne, very, very high praise on social media about how OTT is the Tivoli is his favourite wrestling venue to wrestle at. So has been a champion in OTT before. He probably wants to be it again. Haskins, he's the same. I think Haskins at this stage is, and you've seen in the past 2 months, he doesn't really care about people too much. He just cares about coming in, winning matches, and going home. Like, he's just, like, Haskins does this because he has a family to be, like, and, you know, he has potential family to be too, like, with his girlfriend getting pregnant, and it's fantastic. Like, someone like Pete Dunne becoming a father, like.
Yeah, I heard about that, so it's pretty awesome.
With his demeanour, but no, it could be good, and I'm interested to see who their third man is.
Any idea who it could be?
Well, it's definitely not me.
It could be Foxy. He's
Foxy though.
Foxy's on the streak.
He did well in the Don Talk Open Challenge, so
that's
might need to build up on his momentum.
Yeah, it's we were talking about it on the show this week. Actually, we were like, oh well, you know, he's on the streak. You know, I mean, why not continue it? So we work that way.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens. Anyway, moving on to the Belfast show then. Some pretty good matches there as well. Obviously, Pete Dunne was going to be in Belfast as well, and he's going to take on Belfast Adam Maxted. That's a very good match, actually. Like, because Adam Maxted's one of the most improved wrestlers out there.
Maxted has just been proving himself, like, for the past number of years, and it's fantastic to see him do that. I don't know. It's fun. I'm a big fan of Max. I love him. I think he's like, what's great about him, he is, no matter which draw, he will go around what could he do better, what better this time, so it's a lot easier if you get, rather than, but he's fantastic. Like, his work rate is amazing. He's his athleticism is down the chart. He actually is the best shot I've ever seen in person by Maxted.
Really compared to other wrestlers.
I don't know, like, a lot of people say Okada has a good one, but I think Maxted is up there. The height he gets from the floor to someone sitting on the second rope,
that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's going up against Pete Dunne. He's going up against the Bruiserweight, and I think this is a match that he deserves. And I think no matter if he wins or loses, Pete Dunne's definitely going to have respect for Maxted.
Definitely an intriguing match all the same. Of course, the guys from White Wolf will also be down there in Belfast, and they'll be taking on the team of Sean Guinness and Scotty Davis. And that's an interesting match now because, like, as opposed to Morton Hype, you have someone like Guinness and Davis who are like a nice experience of a nice mix of youth and experience going up against the guys from AAA.
Yeah, like, this is interesting. I think Max is back in Ireland now. He's back for his longest stint in ages. Don't know how long it's for. Hopefully it is for a while now because, you know, it's great to have him around with the Irish team booming. Then he's Scotty Davis. And Scotty Davis is just off the chart. And, yeah, they're both two off the chart people. Like, wrestling-wise. And the White Wolf, they're on something else. Like, they're only young kids, and they're doing so much for the wrestling scene in Spain, which doesn't really have much of it until White Wolf decided to go give it a hand, and they've got some huge names over there. Thanks to them two boys and putting it on the map, you know.
I did, though. I've heard so much. I was in Madrid last weekend, and I've heard so much about Triple W over there. Like, you know, so. Like, they're really, like, they had guys, like, really big indie guys such as Ricochet wrestle for them before, so, and they have a very interesting style. Like, it's a lot of lucha libre wrestling, like what they present to their to their matches here, so it's definitely worth checking out if you're ever over there. So I never actually checked their match, but they're certainly making a name for themselves, so, like, they're definitely an up-and-coming promotion for sure. Some really good rematches coming up. Obviously, one in particular, Jordan Devlin against Tyler Bates. 1-on-1. Now, for me, Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bates, I think this was 2 years ago, maybe more. Is still my favorite one of my favorite OTT matches. So it's great to see them finally have a rematch, and it'll certainly be very, very interesting to see what they present now, so much longer later after their first match. Yeah,
no, it's fantastic to see this match again, because every time they've gone up against each other, it's been fantastic. And I'm just so happy that they're having another match. And Tyler Bates is just fantastic. Jordan Devlin's fantastic. It's going to be a great match, definitely. And with the belt on the line, you never know how it's going to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like a rubber match is also going to be happening at OTT Belfast. Tucker versus Curtis Murray. Now these guys are 1-1 against each other, so finally they're going to decide a rivalry once and for all in Belfast as well. That's a very intriguing match as well.
Yeah, 1-1, and this is the rubber match they've always thought after. They've been done after for a few months, and Tucker's he's on this kind of new mean streak in OTT, and he really wants to prove himself now, as he is going off to Download Festival to go up in the WWE UK tournament. So, he's going up against Joe Coffey, who's no stranger to OTT himself. So, I think he just wants something to prove. Curtis wants something to prove. He's gaining the attention of people like Will Ospreay. And they're pretty much, they were partners at Contenders. So, yeah, he's really got a lot to prove as well, because he wants to prove to his now peers about that what he can do, and he definitely wants to prove Tucker who the better man is.
Absolutely. So it's definitely a very intriguing match of because as you said, both have a lot to prove, both to each other and to their opponents. So definitely intriguing match. And of course, the big rematch then for the tag team titles. The Kings of the North back in Belfast to once again challenge the Rapture for the tag team titles. So that's that. You never know, because it's in Belfast. The home court advantage could easily go in their favour in this match.
Yeah, last time these teams faced each other, it was in the Kings' hometown. The Rapture got the victory there, so that was their first loss in Belfast.
Right.
This time, I think they've regained their they felt like they were dropping off after they lost the belts. They lost matches to Aussie Open, lost to the Angel Cruisers, and they were doubting themselves. But now I think their momentum is kind of back. They have that push. They feel like, right, if there's any time for us to win back the belt, now. And they had a great weekend, 2 wins, and they've earned the opportunity. So they're here. They're going to face the Rapture, and could it be a victory in the Europa? You never know.
You never know. We'll have to see what happens. So obviously OTT Haven of Monsters will be taking place Saturday, June 2nd in the Tivoli Theatre, and OTT live in Belfast Sunday, June 3rd at the Europa Hotel in Belfast. Both events up. Tickets are available on eventbrite.ie. Now, before I let you go, I just have to ask on a personal note, how's things going with the one with the podcast thing on Low Blows? Because I'm a listener of that show and I really do enjoy it. So how's things going with that in the meantime?
Yeah, it's going good. Yeah, we're doing more episodes this week. We're up to 4 now, and we 5 coming out on Tuesday. That's all there. That's all ready. And next one, we're going to do a whole batch of them. And they're going to be out within the next few weeks. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And it's really going well. Nathan's I'm kind of seeing Nathan's transition. He's becoming more and more of a fan.
Cool. It's nice to see that he's getting more used to it, but as opposed to just seeing it, as opposed to because it was interesting, because I heard the first episode in particular, and he's comparing it almost like everything he's seeing at the moment, but now he's becoming a fan, so that's pretty cool. So you can check that out on the Low Blows Network as well, with all the other podcasts available for that as well. So Butch, great. Thanks very much for that. We'll hope to have you on again soon. All the best and more next weekend with OTT. We'll hope to have you on again soon.
No matter. I'll see you there.
Yeah, we will indeed. See you soon.